Before the trip took place, we'll move on slightly, but still stick on the same theme, because before the trip took place, there was a quote from a Sussex source who said that the Australia trip will be a welcome distraction from the nonsense going on in the UK. The nonsense going on in the UK that they were referring to was Centre Barley suing Harry. We seem to have maybe forgotten about that. That's come and gone so quickly because Australia is happening. But this is sensational. This is a charity that he founded with Prince Say-So, and it was so important to him for so many years. This is bitter. This is acrimonious. This is kind of humiliating for Harry now.
Robert, yes, no, I feel like you're the expert on this.
No, I think it is humiliating. I think, for a lad who's actually spent his time suing every newspaper group he can think of, he's now getting sued himself by charity organisations that, his people appointed and that he set up. What will be even more embarrassing is what comes out, because if there are comments which are inappropriate, shall we say, in this modern world, which I dare say there must be some reason behind the suing. It's going to be embarrassing for him, yeah.
Well, it's spoonful of your own medicine, isn't it? Because it's libel, and Harry's very familiar with all that. Won't go further, but I think it is really interesting, and we don't know that much for now. I've been trying to wrap my head around this. I think we'll get more information. We obviously know Dr. Sophie Chandorka was involved. If it comes out that there has been some sort of bullying or harassment towards this strong black woman executive that used to work at Meta and was a lawyer and very high up and has been dragged down by Harry and Meghan, that could be terrible reputationally. Absolutely terrible for them if that comes out within this case.
We've seen Meghan fall out with people, haven't we? We've seen Meghan's often get the blame for falling out with the royal family, with Netflix, which we'll get onto in a minute about Netflix, and obviously Spotify, etc. We often kind of put the blame on Meghan, but this is Harry, and this is Harry that is being sued by Centre Barley, not Meghan. Why do they both appear to just rub people up the wrong way?
Well, sorry, but can we forget this? And you can see it online a lot, but during the polo match, whereby Sophie Chandorka was there, Meghan was there, and Harry was there on the stage, there is a video that has now gone viral of Meghan basically getting Sophie Chandorka out of the way, holding the cup and being central for the photo. So you can see that it's like people get really upset and tired of this constant power PR grab from the couple. But you've probably got much more insight into this, Robert.
No,
Why do they do it?
That sums it up. I think that didn't help the situation. This is a very intelligent, sharp woman they've got taken on. And I think that he just thought he could just... I don't know, we'll have to wait and see what comes out in the case, but she wouldn't be doing this unless she thought she was going to win.
I think we've heard from Meghan that she surrounds herself by people who are yes people and don't want to say no, and I think that's also half the issue, is that she's kind of revolving in her own echo chamber, and it creates quite an insufferable person when you don't want to listen to any criticism. But I hate listening to criticism, so,
The Centre Barleys say they began legal proceedings after, and in quotes, a coordinated adverse media campaign that has caused operational disruption and reputational harm to the charity. The Sussexes say it's extraordinary that charitable funds are now being used to pursue legal action against the very people who built and supported the organisation for 2 decades, rather than being directed to the communities the charity was created to serve. And then a source has said, close to Harry and Meghan, the irony that Centre Barley should release a proactive media statement stating there is a coordinated adverse media campaign against the charity, I don't think is lost on anyone. It's bitter. It ain't going away.
I mean, they're always complaining about when someone criticises them, but if it doesn't, they're not prepared to accept any criticism, really. And if they do, they want to appoint their own press people and only invite certain journalists. And then their own people that were working for them are taking them on. It beggars belief, really. I mean, it beggars belief.
Is Australia, going to the original point, is Australia now serving as a distraction to Harry's legal crisis with Centre Barley?
What, the trip there? Well, it certainly made everyone stop talking about it, apart from Sun Exclusive.
Apart from us. Well, as I say, we need to find out more. We need to see the court documents.
When that court case happens,
yeah,
that's going to be explosive.
It's going to be explosive. We've discussed on this show many times about Netflix. Meghan's shows on Netflix, which again, I keep pointing out, I really struggled to get through. I don't think it worked. The 6-part documentary, that was explosive, to use your phrase. But when they split, or when With Love Meghan ended, and then As Ever split from Netflix, it was Meghan who said that I wanted to grow and I was being held back by Netflix. Then we heard these stories from inside Netflix that came out in the US press saying, no, they're a complete and utter nightmare to work for. However, oh, sorry, did you want to say something?
No, I was like, yes, that is exactly the quotes that I've read.
They didn't quote that, but that's my interpretation of what was said.
Some executive quotes, though.
But now we're talking about distraction about Australia. Just a couple of days before they flew, we've seen Meghan with Netflix boss Ted Sarandos and his wife Nicole Avant. Why?
I don't really know.
Well, they were having like a Netflix kind of throwdown, weren't they? There were a lot of like the key Netflix stars there. It seems like Harry and Meghan pushed their way into that party or got an invite, however you want to say.
Do you believe they're friends? Do you believe they're still, pals?
So if I unfollowed you on Instagram a week ago, would you still think like we were totally fine and we had no issues?
No.
Because
I'd never speak to you again, Samara. You'd never appear on this show
Have you
again.
unfollowed him?
Well, so that's exactly what Ted Sarandos did to Meghan the week before those pictures were taken and the party was held. He unfollowed her on Instagram. And for those who don't speak Gen Z millennial, that's a pretty forward thing to do. That's relationship over. Don't want anything to do with you. Kaput. So when you see these photos come out of of Meghan grabbing on to Ted Sarandos' wife, it's like she's grabbing onto the last life raft to get her out of her situation.
Was she getting cold feet, maybe, from ending her
I think
deal
it's
with
different in a social position, isn't it? I mean, I probably didn't want to create a scene, but it doesn't mean they get on, does it, really? I would have thought that they would just go, hello, how are you? And then turn their back and it's those grifters again.
Yeah. Maybe some future Netflix shows, guys. What do you reckon?
Well, why not? I mean, you never know. But Netflix, they're in the game to make money, aren't they?
Well, those photos were splashed all over Twitter, the papers, etc. But then it comes out that actually Netflix requested to have those pictures removed from Getty Images. Why is that? Why? So many questions here.
We've been here before with Kim Kardashian and...
it's exactly the same thing.
This is a showbiz trip, isn't it? I mean, let's be honest. They're making money. It's they could call it a business trip. It's not a private visit. It's turned into a circus, and everything Meghan and Harry do turns into a circus. They know it's part of the brand. It's part of the way they generate their cash.
Why would Netflix request that? They had a professional photographer there. Why do they want those pictures specifically removed?
Well, let's keep an eye on that one as well.